It is, in fact, deja vu all over again. We're taking a look today at Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle. Wait a minute, Brian, haven't you covered that before? Wasn't it the very first review you did long before you're on the Dice Tower? Yes, it was, but today we're looking at Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle, Defense Against the Dark Arts. This, in fact, is a different game. Or is it? Well, really it is. It's essentially a two-person deck builder, a dueling deck builder, which is what most deck builders typically end up being, right? A dueling deck builder, not a cooperative one. But it takes the elements and the mechanics of Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle and puts them into a mechanical style that you're fighting each other using the same sort of idea. So let's take a look at how this one plays, if it's any better or worse than the original right now. So here we go, Hogwarts Battle set up on the table. You choose first of all between one of the four houses, Slytherin, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, or Gryffindor. You're then gonna take 7 Alohomora cards, Alohomora, and then you're gonna take 1 cauldron, some of these are in here from earlier, 1 cauldron, 1 wand, and then you're gonna choose one of the allies, the starting allies from the beginning. You have options for a toad, a cat, or an owl. Let's face it, even though I'm terrified of birds, the owl is the obvious choice. Ignore that. These are gonna go right up here into your deck. You're gonna shuffle it up, take the first 5 cards you get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're then gonna play the game. If you played the other one, the actual Hogwarts Battle, you'll understand how this works, but if you haven't, I'll just explain. It's a basic deck builder. You have your 2 characters faces each other here on this board. Your goal is to knock the other character into the stunned area, because you're doing Defense Against the Dark Art dueling, a la the movies, the books, etc. You're trying to knock each other off this board 3 times. Once you get knocked off once, you're going to get one of these Death Eater tokens, which look really nice, by the way. You're trying to not have that happen to you. You're trying to knock the other person off the board. But basically, there are 3 types of currency. Essentially, currency, it calls it these collectibles here, but here's the deal. You don't actually need to collect as much as you would in in Hogwarts Battle, because it's a much faster paced game. You're dueling back and forth. So there's money in order to buy cards with, there's life in order to heal yourself back up this track, and then there's attack power, which will knock the other person backwards down the track. That's essentially it. You're going to be buying cards with the currencies that you gain to gain a money. This one allows you to banish a card, so there's certain little keywords, like if you don't like something that's in your discard here, for instance, like a hex, which are things you can put into other people's decks. The hexes are bad things. You can banish that out, and they'll go over here into the banish spot. Some of these cards key off banish cards, etc. You also, there's an interesting mechanic that I'm really fond of here, where notice that these are house-specific cards. You can use the top part of this card no matter who you are. However, if you're playing as Slytherin, or if you've got a Slytherin ally on the table, you get to use the bottom part as well, which is nice that it incentivizes you to look through this, or not to look through the deck, but to try to find other allies, and you'll know them pretty easily because they're sideways. Boy, they are few and far between, aren't they? So there's the Dowager right there. Your point here is she gives you a Gryffindor symbol, which means you can use the Gryffindor card bottom bonus if you have her. Or if you're playing as Gryffindor, that's the other way. So that is essentially how you're going to play. You're going to keep going back and forth deck builder style until someone gets knocked off this board 3 times. Player who does the stunning wins the game. So that is, in fact, Hogwarts Battle Defense Against the Dark Arts. Is it better than the original? No, not a chance. In fact, I don't like it very much. I don't like it a whole lot because it is dull when you play it, because it is a large deck of cards, and most of these spells don't do a whole lot except just add a little bit of currency. So when you feel like you're wasting your entire turn on getting currency just to buy more currency for a later turn, it sort of stacks up to where you're thinking, wait a minute, even if I had 11 coins to spend, nothing I'm buying is really that exciting to buy, right? Maybe you get some cool allies out there, but then the rest of them are just these spells that kind of potentially get you more money. There's not a whole lot of damage dealers. I mean, there's some, but it just plays super slow and feels kind of sluggish to go, oh, well, that was my turn. 6 turns in, and you still really haven't made a dent in the other player. It gets kind of old, especially in the fact that they can attack you, and then you can just heal right back up. So even though you play 3 full rounds of this stunning stuff, it never seems to end the first round, because as soon as you do 2 damage or 1 damage, I'm going to heal for 2. It's very easy to heal in this game. So it's just one of those things where maybe if you're a really big fan of Harry Potter and the whole Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom setting, which is a pretty big part of the books, Dumbledore's Army and all that, this one might be for you. Or if you're not a fan of competitive cooperative games in general, you might like this one better. But I say just stick to the original, stick to Defense Against the Dark, stick to Hogwarts Battle, just because it is a good deck builder. But this one, it tries to take the system and slim it down into a 2-player competitive, and it just doesn't do it. So this is a pass for me. I'm Brian Drake here on the Dice Tower. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, etc. at Dice Tower Brian. And also, if you're going on the cruise, make sure to shoot me a message and say hello. Let's get some games in. Until next time, we'll see you.
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando, in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.